Good afternoon. It's Sunday afternoon, and I'm actually supposed to be doing something else, but I made resin, and now I have to finish what I'm doing. You know how that goes. You just got to do stuff. So I tried to go live, but I don't have enough subscribers to go live. You have to have at least 1,000. So everybody have your friends come and subscribe to my channel so I can go live, since I'm having trouble editing. I will try and get this so that it doesn't have to be edited and just put it up. I made something yesterday for you all. It was, I know I move around a lot. I did an acrylic pour yesterday, and I used DecoArt Sapphire Metallic. And then I used, what is this? This is Pearl X Sky Blue. And then I used Jacquard Duo Blue Green. And now I might have put a little bit of the DecoArt Sapphire in there, but I did use the blue Interference Bling It also in white. And this is what I got. This video just does not do us justice. You can see the shimmer as you tilt it and look at it. And this doesn't even have a layer of resin on it. I don't really like that blob. That is the a blob of the Interference Pearl Blue. But isn't that pretty? So that got me thinking. I have some new molds, and you know what that means. You have to do something with them. Put that back over there. So what I have here, I have some light switch molds, which one of them my mama got me, one I bought. And then I got some checker molds. I want to see how they do. And then I have these shallow hearts. I think those will be real pretty and make magnets. I also have, let's see, I have my bags that my molds came out of. So I have the single light plate molds. I have the plug-in molds. And then I have a freeway switch. And then I thought these were cute. They're a little big, but, well, maybe I think they're a little big, but Superman. I thought I can do something with that. You know, keychain type stuff. In fact, I want to open one right now. And it's going to be noisy. See, isn't that neat? Very shiny, so that'll make a good thing. I actually have 2 of those. So you'll see I have my mold setting on this old glass cutting board. I periodically scrape the resin off of it, and I used my little thingy here, and I moved it. I had it really even. Well, I'm going to move it to a dust-free zone anyway, so. But it'll be setting perfectly level. So, I've already got my resin made. And I think on these, I'm going to do a dirty cup pour. But I made some red for the dominoes and the leftover for the heart. And the way I did that, I used Dr. Martin's Bombay Ink Red. I used about 10 drops because I didn't want them to be see-through. and that still left it kind of transparent. Actually, I think I used about 5 drops, and that still left it kind of transparent. I have Black Diamond Ruby Red Garnet glitter in it. And then I added just a touch of ATD Fireball Red. So that'll make it nice and opaque. Look at that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour some in the these are plastic cups I'm not used to, so they don't fold like the paper cups do well. I actually think these checker molds are a little small. I think they must be for a miniature set. They were smaller than I expected, let's just put it that way. They'll be flat on one side and have the crown on the other. And I knew it wouldn't take very much for these, so that's why I got my heart mold out. But I am going to reach right back here. Hi, everybody. I'm going to clean that off. I have a baby wipe here. And I want to get a little bit more in there. The resin was already pre-mixed, you noticed, and I let it set. I use Stone Coat Countercoats Art Coat, and then I let it, mixed it for a good 3-4 minutes. I want to make sure I get these, you know, at the right level. And then I put any mica powders that I was going to be using in the bottom of the cups, because I like to add the mica before the resin. And then the same with the glitter. I don't think these are exactly what I need. I had some syringes that would probably work better, but I'm not prepared, so this will just have to do. I let the resin set for a little bit, hoping that, you know, maybe it'll help with some of the bubbles since these are such small, tiny molds. And you probably can't see it, but I can see bubbles coming up right now, so that's a good thing. So what I'm going to do so that I can get around the edges is I have my little toothpick. And I want to get all around the bottom edge. I should have done this before I filled them up. But you know what? That's why you watch people. So you can watch them mess up and then you can go do it right. So, since I haven't had my YouTube channel very long, I did not realize you had to have so many subscribers before you could go live. That was something I did not know. I have a lot of people, and if you're like me, you don't always know everyone you follow. I have a lot of different people who are artists that I follow because I like to see what their work is like. So I have some strange people, but you know, that's okay. Everyone is entitled to their opinions and what type of art they like. And I just like to watch what people are doing, not necessarily because I want to do it. Sometimes I just buy a mold because I have a thought and say, you know, I think I might like to try that. I have no idea what I'll do with it. Like these checkers. I have grandkids and great nieces and nephews that would love to play checkers. And when I make the black ones, because I only have these 6 right here, so I'll have to do it in stages. But when I make the black ones, I'm going to do the same thing and put the black glitter in them. I want to clean that up before I mess things up here. But I meet people everywhere. I play some online games and I meet people there. Meet people I never would have met otherwise. Hi, V. And then I just like the art. Now I'm not going to get out my big heat gun and I'm going to try, whoops, I have to unplug my big heat gun. I forgot I moved it. I have an embossing gun and I think it will be better because it's smaller. I'm going to get me one of those little bitty world's smallest leaf blower type things because I think I can use it. So this is very low air. It'll heat up the resin just a little bit, and that will help get all those air bubbles out. And I'm hoping that this will not hurt my molds. If it does, I didn't pay very much for these, so I'll just buy new. It's not like I have a whole lot of money, but sometimes you just gotta figure stuff out. It's a little hard to tell because of the glitter. It's hard to tell if it's actually, I'm gonna get rid of that. That is not working the way it needs to. Make sure it's all empty. And I'm gonna put just a touch more. In that one. You know, and I said this before, and then I couldn't find my syringes. So I just went ahead and did this. But on small stuff like this, I think I'm going to get syringes. I usually measure how much resin goes in my molds before I use them, and I did not with these, so I'm playing it by ear. But I'm going to get some syringes so that I can make sure that each mold has the exact same amount in it, so the checkers are all the same size. And you know, I'm going to do that with the dominoes. I know I have not shown a video on finishing the dominoes, but I'm having some issues. This is the better, and I still have a little bit of cleanup, but I'm using acrylic paint and just putting the dots with the end of a paintbrush. I still got some cleanup on this one, but I'm experimenting. I made a set of dominoes, just those blue ones, just so that I could experiment and figure out, you know, what to do. I'm going to set that red aside for right now. Trying not to make too big of a mess here. Okay, now for these, I have a cup here. It's clean on the inside. I just splashed paint on it on the outside when I was doing a bloom technique to do the spin. So what I have here is I have Let's Resin Silver Blue, and that is this one. That's pretty. And then I think this is my favorite resin paste. This is the Just Resin Candy Blue. Look at that gorgeous color. I think that is my favorite blue. It is just so rich and pure to me. I have Bling It Interference Blue Pearl. And of course, it looks white except for maybe a little bit of blue when you look at certain angles. And then I have the, what did I say, this Pearl X Sky Blue, because I wanted a lighter blue in there too. And then I have Deco Art Metallic. Now then, this is an acrylic paint. You can use acrylic paints in your resin, but you do have to be very, very careful. If you get too much acrylic paint in your resin, it's going to turn to marshmallow fluff. Like when you're trying to make Rice Krispie treats, it will turn to marshmallow fluff. And then this, the only white that I had is Passion Top Cell White from Color Passion. It makes really good cells when you're doing waves and stuff, but it also does well because I did not want these switch plates to be see-through, because you're going to see the back of the wall and the hole and all of that. So rather than using clear, I wanted to make up some white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to start with a little bit of white. And then I'm going to take the Sapphire Deco Art, which is the acrylic paint, and pour some of that in there. And I'm not too sure about, not too worried about getting stuff on the side. I'm going to put some Pearl Interference Blue. I'm going to put some of the Candy Blue. I know some of these are very similar in color, but they are a little bit different. We'll put some of the Pearl X Sky Blue in. I probably should have done that before I did the other dark, but that's okay. And then this is the Silver Blue. Actually, I'm going to put some more white in real quick. And then I'm going to put in some Silver Blue. in some more interference. I'm not doing these in any particular order. I'm just kind of looking to see, you know, how they lay on each other, honestly. What do I want to do now? See what happens. You get doing and then you can't figure out what you want. Okay, I'm going to put some more of this magic blue, or candy blue, I'm sorry. I have a little bit of clear left. I need to move that before I knock it over. And I want to put some more white in. And I knew that I made too much resin for these. But again, I knew I was going to do other stuff with it, so I'm okay with that. I probably should have made more red and less blue, but that's okay. Here's some of that sapphire metallic. And some silver blue. And some more interference. And I think that's going to be plenty. So now I'm going to take this, and I poured it here. So I'm going to pour in here, and now I'm going to pour it from over here. And I'm just going to come over here, and you'll be able to see the colors coming out. Like I said, I don't know how much these molds will take. That's all I'm going to put in that one for right now. And then I'll come over here and put this in this one. Okay, now I'm going to get a new toothpick. I have a new toothpick over here because I need to spread this out some. It's a little high on this side and it's not moving real well right now. It's kind of cold in my room here. My art studio is my second bedroom. I live in a very tiny house with my husband and my dog. I think we have like just less than 800 square feet, so it's not very big at all, but it's ours. And we had a second bedroom and it had horrible carpet in it, and so we pulled all the carpet up, got rid of it, and then I discovered resin and it became my art studio. I want a little bit of more of a mix instead of the lines in this one. I should have poured it a little bit different, but that's okay. I'll just do it like this. That silvery blue to me looks like gold too, sometimes. I think I need a little bit more resin in that one. Oh, here's my cup. This one could use a little bit more too. Doing it kind of like a tree ring pour. And then I'll use my little toothpick to mix it a little better. And I think I'll just do the Superman in this too, because I have plenty. Because it's such a small mold, I'm trying to pour it very slowly. Obviously, I'm not doing a very good job of it. Okay, here's my blue toothpick. Let's see, I'll have to scrape this off. I actually need to scrape this way because I have an empty spot. And I want to make sure that it's in the loop here. So see, if you'll just run your toothpick in there, that breaks my mind is going blank. That breaks these, it's not a seal, but the tension from the resin so that it will flow into that spot now. Now, I should not have put quite so much in here. So I'm going to take my little rag, clean off the edges, and I'm going to clean off the center. Preparation will make your work much easier, or clean up in the middle of it like this. You don't want to spend all of your time cleaning other stuff. Now I'm going to use my embossing gun here. Not really popping the bubbles like I'd like, so I'm going to do what I tell you not to do. This is a do as I say, not as I do thing. You know how those goes, like you tell your kids. And I have too much in this mold. This is the little screw thing here, and it's almost covered up. I got that one too full. But that's okay, these are tests. I probably shouldn't do it on the Superman mold, but you notice I had a very little flame. It was very low, and I did not stay on it for very long. So we're going to take the rest of this, we still have some, and see if we can't do a better job pouring it in here. The more you pour out of your cup like this, it will mix more. I'm sorry, I get concentrating and I forget to talk. I live in Oklahoma, south of Oklahoma City, in a little bitty town called Wynnewood. If you've ever heard of Wynnewood, unfortunately, we've been in the news for the last couple of years. The Tiger King. No, I don't know him. No, I've never met him. No, I have no desire to, though we still have Carol Baskin sightings on our community pages sometimes. You see, I did a little bit better with this one. It's not quite as full. It does need a little bit more in it, but I'm trying to clean it first, unlike the one I did over there. What did I do? Oh, here it is. Let that set and move. I have a piece of something in my checker here. You know, you always have your house and you never can find tweezers, and now I have like 20 sets of tweezers. But they're all in my art room. They're not allowed to go to the bathroom or outside the art room. How funny is that? I want just a touch more in here. I mean, just not much at all. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a torch on this one. Try not to, if you're going to use a torch, try not to get near the mold itself, the edges. And don't stay in one spot for too long. I'm going to have to fill up my torch. So now I'm going to take this and very carefully, I'm going to lift it up and move it. Give me just a minute. You know, I had like 4 or 5 cutting boards that I had in here, and I moved them. I got them out of my way, and now I can't find them. I don't know what I did with them. So, that's my silhouette stuff. And I'll just use this. This is just a sheet of the clear plastic. I use this when I'm making molds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here like this. And now I'm just going to fill this, and I'll probably use all different colors because these will end up being magnets. So let's go ahead and fill this one with the red. That red just reminds me of Valentine's Day. I'm trying to remember where I got this mold. I got it off of Amazon. What is it, Wilton, that does cakes? I think it's one of theirs. I don't remember for sure. And it is a very shiny mold. I like that. The glitter that I use, the Black Diamond Ruby Garnet, whatever it is, I'll look at it here again in a minute. It is a very, very fine glitter, so it should not sink to the bottom. Now I do have a little bit of clear in here, so I'm going to add some more into this because I don't have quite enough for one heart. And I want to try and make one more heart out of the red. I use Stone Coat Counter Coats Art Coat. I think I said that at the beginning, but the reason that I use it is I have worked it for 2 hours. It's supposed to, I have worked it for 2.5 hours. It's supposed to have a 2-hour working time, and it does. And I love it. If you want something to set a little faster, they have other resins. But the Art Coat I think is my favorite because I move slow most of the time. Yeah, I still have some left over. Maybe I'll just make another one. This one might not be quite as thick as the others. But you know what? That's okay. Of course, then again, I could just scrape. Scrape. I was going to be having my stuff at a little shop just outside of our town here, but she had to close down. She was just getting started too. Man, you talk about perfect. That is perfect. Now I have it all over my hand. So I get my trusty little wipe here. Clean it off, and then take a clean corner of it and clean that. Okay, now I'm going to take this, which is just the leftovers from the other. And I'm going to pour it into the mold. I don't really want to scrape it because I don't want to mix the colors. But I'll probably end up doing that. They won't be mixed on the other side because I hate to waste resin. So I will take this. And then I shake and then I make a mess. So I always keep my wipes handy and open. Okay, so that takes care of our red and our dirty cup leftovers. Now I'm going to take, this is the candy blue. Gosh, I just love this color. It just looks so satiny and silky and just a beautiful color. Now I'll take this sky blue. Because these are metallics or micas, like this was a mica, that's why you get the pearly look to it. This is has micas in it. That's why you get the same thing from it. I'm going to put just a tad more in it. So I'm going to torch these real quick. Oh, I'm almost out. Okay, that one is empty. I'm going to have to fill it. See, I told you I wasn't prepared. This one has stuff in it. And you notice I still kept it very, very low. Those are going to be pretty. Okay, so now I still have some resin left over. What am I going to do with it? Well, let's see. I know what I'll do. I'll do just a testy thing. I don't have enough for a full set of tiles, but let's do this. I have to think for a second. Let's take this. Here's one of my other cutting boards. Oh, it's time for me to clear off my workstation. And I've not done it yet. So let's clean this off because I just spilled stuff on it. Resin. So I'm going to come over here. This is a 6x6 tile. I had the back taped off. And what I do with these is I make trivets out of them, like the one that I showed you earlier. You know what? I don't think I'm going to do that on this. I think I'm just going to... These are from Wilton also. They, I don't want to get any of the paint that if it flakes off into my resin there. They are those you put them together and you can make a cake pan whatever size you want. So they just snap together like that. You can put a whole bunch of them together. So I'm going to go like that and put that on there. See how far off. These are kind of hard to get level. You just have to adjust where it sets on it. So that's level. So now I'm going to grease the pan. Greasing the pan is just when you take some resin. I'm going to use what little clear I have left here. I probably should have used white, but if I like this, I like it. If I don't, I don't. I can't afford to do a whole lot of experimenting like some of these people do, doing all this different stuff, but I can do some. So I'm just putting a very thin layer, and what this does, this is going to help the resin move. I'll have to I know about where it was setting. I know I've just moved it, but sometimes you have to get what you need. Once I get my table all cleaned off, which may take a little bit because I'm reorganizing, because I got a cameo silhouette so that I can embellish some of my stuff now. Okay, so now I'm going to take the torch, because this is very thin and it's, I'm going to get these bubbles out. And okay, so what I'm going to do here, I have no idea. Don't you love it? Okay, so let's take some white. And then we'll take some of the silver blue. I have no idea what I'm going to do here. I'm just putting it on, being totally honest with you. This is some more of that candy blue. Put on some of the interference blue. This is the sky blue. And this is the sapphire blue. A little more white. Now let's see if I turn this on high. See, there's tension right now. There's tension right there at that spot. The resin's not moving and it has a hole there. So if you just touch it, takes sometimes more than once, it breaks that surface tension and it'll start moving. And I'll have the same problem right around the edges because I don't have a lot of resin on it. So I'm going to torch it. That's not my favorite heat gun. I mean my favorite, you know what I mean. And I think I'm going to go to my regular heat gun this time. Because it has, I can control the temperature on this. I don't want it cold, but I don't want it at the hottest. So I'll turn it part way. And I have one of these foot pedals. So my gun is always on high, or always on. Okay, I'm having trouble moving the resin, and what that tells me, first of all, is I don't have enough resin on my piece. It also tells me that I should have either painted these edges or used white as my grease. So I'll just mess with these edges right now. But we're going to put some more resin on it so that it can flow over the edges, and hopefully I can manipulate it. Because I used the clear, and we have a white tile here. So you have the white tile and you have clear. And then you have all these colors that you spread on top of it. Well, what that does is it gives it depth, and you can just continue to layer and layer and layer. See, that's why I wear old clothes. I discovered, which I like blue, but my mom's favorite color is blue. That's not what I discovered. But blue is one of the most popular selling colors. It is the most popular favorite color. So if you're wanting to get into this and you don't know what to do, that's okay. Just because you don't care for something doesn't mean others won't. And all I'm doing here really is just layering colors, so it's going to have depth to it. This is going to be plenty of resin when I get done with it. It'll be too much actually, but I have the resin left over, so, and I'll get some mold for anything that's left after this. Let's take our heat gun again. Anyway, as I was saying, you just continue to layer and layer and layer, and so you get, it just adds the depth to it. See how much easier the resin is kind of moving now? what I want to do is just soften the lines. Now this area right here, I'm going to put some more of the darker blue here because I don't like the way it just faded all completely out right there. But through here, you can see that interference blue. You probably can't not see it on the video, but a little bit of the silver blue, that is. And then some more of the interference. See, it's starting to thicken up just a little bit. Once I get exactly the way I want it, then I'll drizzle some of the interference on top of it again, because it sinks down and that just gives it, like I said, so much depth. Isn't that pretty? Just like your acrylics, you need to come clean the edge. A lot of people would tell you never touch the edges with your fingers. But what I do, again, that's probably a do as I say, not as I do thing. But especially when I forget to paint the edges of the tile, because these don't have white edges on them, then I do touch the edges. But just like in acrylic, as I was saying, as it goes off the edges, and I'm going to turn this like that so that I can get to this. As it goes off the edges, you want to make sure you come by and clean up the drips. The reason for that is if you do not, then it will just continue to pull your resin just like it does pulls your paint off. So, and you don't want it to pull your resin all off. Now, because this is Color Passion, Passion Top Cell White, if it's on top of your colors, it will create cells. So you will see that I have all these pretty little cells coming up. Isn't that pretty? And I have enough left that I can do one more. You see, I have a stack over here of tiles, both the 6x6 size and, oops, I keep stepping on my foot thing, both the 6x6 size and coaster size. And so I try to keep some with the tape already on it. Otherwise, I get in here and I start making and get going, and then I'm messed up because the backs are all ugly. So I have, let me turn you just a bit this way. So I have a little bit of clear left. See how it's getting a little thicker? Resin does not dry. Resin cures. It is a chemical reaction. Now, if your resin is a 1-to-1 resin, that means it takes 1 part A and 1 part B. I'll leave that in there and I can get it all cleaned up when it cures. And what that means is you use the same amounts. Don't think that you can put in more of part B to make it harder. B is the hardener, A is the resin. I'm going to heat that just a little bit. Because just adding more of the hardener does not work. I'm going to do this one different. So this is the sapphire blue. And then I'll put in some interference blue. I have no idea what this is going to look like either. See, I just like doing stuff to see what it looks like. I do try and sell my things, so if you're interested in anything, and I'm going to put some more white around here. Since I didn't grease the pan, this will help when it gets over to the edges to now I've left just a little bit of white in there just in case. This is the sky blue. This is the silver blue. Yeah. And then sapphire. I'm just going to put this like this, not touching the colors yet. Put some of that blue interference across the top. Now I'm going to take, this is obviously not level, it's going off the back side. See, I didn't check it before I did it, so. See, that kind of blended together, but you can see the colors peeking out. So I'm going to go again, creating depth. And I'm going to take the last bit of my white, most of it anyway. And sling it everywhere, which is what I just did. That's okay. I have plastic underneath me, so it's not that big of a deal, but still. I did that because I want to see if it's on top, it creates more cells. Look at that. I wanted to see if it would do that. I think I like it. I think I like it. So, it's been fun. Next video, I'll show you how these turned out, and we'll go from there. So I'll get this posted here in just a minute, and nice being with you all again, and we'll see you next time. Bye.